Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a perfect city build in Farthest Frontier. This is the 9.6 update, so as you can see by the screen, I am in the creative mode if you like. It's sort of a customization mode, and it's what I've used to build this city layout. So in this video I'm going to go through and talk to you about different aspects of this design. This is what I think is a very optimal, efficient design. Obviously, there isn't such thing as a perfect design or a perfect layout, but in my opinion, this is very close to it. So first things first, we have to talk about the town centre. Now, obviously, this is a customization mode, so I could just add people, so I didn't need to worry about resources or anything like that. So forget everything you see resource-wise. This is just literally the design we're talking about. And as you can see, we have got a tier 5 town centre just because I got the auto upgrade on, but I plonked that down on a relatively flat patch of land. You don't need a huge area to start with. It doesn't need to be massive. It's entirely up to you how big you need it. And then from there you leave enough gap for this sort of section here. So obviously town centre is 6 wide, so you don't need it any wider than that really. So for the walls, you just need to continue on down from that. So let me show you what I mean. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 8 between each one. You've got 6 for the town centre and 1 either side. This little sliver is what you will build first. Don't worry about the towers yet, because obviously you need tier 2 to get them. Oh no, you don't, it's tier 1. So you could place the towers, but you're not going to have the gold infrastructure yet to support them. First, you just need this, and you can keep it tier 1 walls, that's absolutely fine. But that you do need to upgrade to tier 2. Make sure when you're doing these designs, you plan out ahead of time. So obviously you're not going to want to map out the whole thing straight away in the first 5 minutes. You're going to need to strategize. Obviously each map is different and looks different. It may not be this flat, and it has different resources around and whatnot. So obviously you have to tailor all of these designs to suit the map you're on and how you're going to play. But having that being said, you can still map out this sort of design. The next thing I did was I directly beside the town centre, going either side, I placed these storages down. Now of course you don't need 4, but for the bigger populations you're going to need a lot more. So I then followed the walls. So let me show you the storages. I got the storages, and in line with the back of the town centre I then placed the first storage, leaving a 1 gap between so you can put the walls down the side. Just filled that in, then boxed that off with the walls around. In terms of the actual walkways, I've kept them really close together so they can literally run in circles around. So they can go to the stockpile, to the next room, so they don't have to run from this door here to a door down here to a door over there. They don't. It's all very, very close. They come in. It's all within a straight line. I could, if I really wanted to, put a road through there just to make them a bit more efficient. But in terms of the door placements, this is where I'd place them. See how I've done it this side as well, and this side. They're on the corners, so they're very quick. So for example, you don't want to put this door over here, so they have to run this way, and then this door over there, so then they have to run all the way across to come through. They're literally running there to there. Efficiency is a massive thing in this game. And now moving on to the next thing that I did. The next thing was I then built these bottom areas just below. Obviously I'm going to have a link in the description to the sort of layout to this, so be sure to check that out down below. It'll give you a bit more of a guidance square by square of how to build it if you did want to copy it and were interested in that. I've used this area and this area just as a tier 1 and tier 2 sort of resources. You can put whatever you want in these. It's not, you don't have to put this stuff in, but this is just what I did, especially for tier 1 and tier 2. You've got all the tier 1 buildings apart from the compost yard, and you've got all the tier 2 stuff really apart from a few little bits and bobs. I put all the necessary items in there, the stuff you need for the housing and whatnot. Something I'm thinking of now which could be a bit more beneficial is putting half and half of this because obviously you need these for the houses, and it's quite a distance away from the houses. So you could sort of put maybe 2 of the saw pits and 2 of the firewood splitters here, and then have 2 firewood and 2 saw pits here as well, just so it balances it out a little bit, because this technically is only half the design. See this whole area here for the housing? I would copy that and do that this side. Then all the fields here, so fields and houses, I'd copy this, both of these, exactly the same this side. I'd basically mirror it, if that makes sense. That's what I would do anyway, but I've only done half the design now, just so you can see what it looks like. Anyway, moving on. So from that, then I decided to increase the walls coming downwards, just to make it a bit harder for the raiders to get in to the centre. And I would put my storage stuff here as well. I'd maybe put a couple of rat catchers there, maybe something like that, just so you can then have these storages full for the rats. You probably only need maybe 1, because the radius is very big, so you probably only need 1 really. This design doesn't include rat catchers for the housing here, but you can very easily add them. That's not an issue at all there. You can very easily add a rat catcher here, for example, and you can add a rat catcher maybe here. So probably 2 rat catchers is enough. The radius is very big anyway, so, but for an area this size, I'd probably have at least 2 rat catchers and 1 compost yard. The compost yard I'd probably keep further away, just because of the desirability effect on it. Yeah, you could put it inside the walls, but it's not going to do much for your desirability. You could even place it. See, that's actually a better idea. You could even place it here, like this, and have a doorway going through here, because then they can use the compost straight onto fields. That's actually probably a very good idea. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So the next thing I did was build this area down here, and then that is the centre complete. Straight after that, well, in between that really, because you're going to want to build this in normal mode, not sort of creative mode if you like. You're going to want to build it in normal mode, so you're going to want to have a little field straight beside it. The way I halved this was, the original walls are here, as you can see, and I did 1 wall over. Original wall is here, 1 wall over. Place the walls going down, and then you've got a room for 2 12 by 24s basically going downwards, which is the size field that you want to build up towards. If you want to just do a 12 by 6 to start off with, that's absolutely fine. I know you can have smaller fields, but there's literally no point having the field any smaller. It's not beneficial whatsoever. The minimum I'd suggest is a 12 by 6. Then you're going to want to make it a 12 by 24 whenever you can, and have this crop rotation here to get you started, to get the fertility up, the weed levels down, and the rockiness down. In between them and the housing, I then placed all of these storages for the food. This is where optimization comes in, because you've got a door here, the fields, storage for the food, housing, very close together. So the people that are running the market, they don't need to run all the way down past all of this to go to the storages. If you place the storages in this section, to come all the way back, that's not very optimal at all. They literally only need to run from there to here, back to the house that they're dropping it off at. Simple as that. Again, it's probably a bit overkill for the amount of field I've got here, but if you're building up higher and higher population, then you're going to wish you had them. In terms of defences, just before we move on to the population area, the residential area, in terms of the defences, obviously you've got the walls, but I've also placed a sort of little pattern of watchtowers here. Obviously at the start you'll only have tier 1, but as you're progressing, double them up to tier 2, and then always make sure you have 2 workers in them. Make sure you've got 4 on each corner. That sort of defends this whole section, so they cannot get into this middle part without getting hit. Obviously, as you're progressing, the raiders are getting harder and they get battering rams. You're going to want to increase the defences. This is just to get you started. After the raiders are starting to get a little bit harder and harder and harder, I would then add another layer of walls like this all the way through, and then I would place some more watchtowers in the corners like this. Then I'd add another layer of walls, just one thick. Oh god, I messed all this up, haven't I? Just one thick like that. So you've got, so the raiders, if the raiders were having to come this way, they'd have to get through one set of walls, two set of walls whilst being shot, three set of walls, four set of walls. And I personally keep all my gold in the town centre and trading centre. So that's where I'd keep all my gold and make that as the very centre point. Not only are they getting hit from all of these towers at the same time, which as you can see is quite a lot of damage that they're going to be getting hit with, they've also got to take time to get through each one of these walls. And the town centre, don't forget, is a defensive building as well that also shoots out. So that's how I would do it. I would just, as you can see, let me zoom in a bit more. I'd add a layer here, then a gap with nothing in it, a layer, gap, layer, and then you're back to your normal sort of pattern. And for in terms of the watchtower, plonk the watchtower in the corner, and then have a little, so it's sort of blocked in, if that makes sense. Yeah, you're gonna have walls and then a little gate for them to come inwards. And you'd probably want to put a wall there just so they can actually get to them. Otherwise they'll just die in the tower when they can't get out. Anyway, moving on. Again, you can do that same thing this side if you were only going to use one half of this design. A lot of people don't like huge designs. Already with just this, you're getting 320 population just with one side. So 640 population you might want to do. A lot of people only do to 500 population. I know I do, because I tend to prefer how the game runs. The bigger the city becomes, the less efficient it is, and the slower all the progress sort of becomes. So I tend to just do 500 population cities, really. Yeah, I don't tend to go past that, really. So if you did want to double this up and mirror everything on the right to the left, that's entirely up to you. Then you'd obviously already have the defensive side for this side, so you wouldn't need to add any more defences this way. And what I've just shown you here on the bottom, I would definitely do again on the top, which then makes this whole centre completely defended. There's literally nothing they can do to get in. If you still were finding you were struggling, areas like this where you might have a bit of dead space, or up here, you can place a tower. Hold on. You can place a barracks here like this, just to help you defend it a bit more, and you can have the soldiers coming in, or again, it's entirely up to you. This is up to your interpretation, no one else's. Now, finally, moving on to the last section, and this is the residential area. And as you can see, it's very packed. It's very packed. I actually quite like it. It looks really nice. This, by the way, is moving to here. I've just moved that to there. I don't know why I plonked it there, to be fair. I just whacked it down. So this is just getting moved to there in the background. Don't mind the people dying, or the animals, or the food, or anything. Don't mind that. This isn't a world that I'm doing properly. This was just for the design. So as you can see, we have a lot of desirability items here, a lot of gardens, a lot of statues, 2 large statues. We have got a lot of the garden trails and a lot of the medium gardens. We've got garden trails all along the middle too. But let me talk to you about what I did first. First and foremost, the market square. Oh my god, getting raided, aren't I? And I haven't got any, well, I suppose we'll be able to see how well it does against raiders. They're attacking from up top, which is not good. A party of 13 raiders are coming. Let's see how we get on. Here they come, look, with a little banner. That's pretty cool. Is it just me, or do they always try and like hide in amongst the trees whenever they're attacking? I think the level 2 towers should make short work of this. I probably should have added 2 people in now. But yeah, this shouldn't be too tough at all. Yeah, they're no match for the tier 2 towers, to be fair. This is obviously my first raid of this, so it's not a hard raid. But as you can see, at least they're getting shot the whole time. See, having watched this as well, I would probably make a little tweak and add a watchtower here as well. Just to make a little tweak, just so you're properly defended. And there's nothing they can really do to get in then. Okay, cool. Anyway, back to what I was showing you. So the first thing that I did was the market, and from that I just sort of leveled it up. So as you can see, it's covering a good equal distance between this one and this one. Go into this link in the description and I'll have a square by square sort of template, so you can actually see exactly where to place it. For me, I just had to play around with it to make it sort of equal. From there, I put a flawless victory. That's new. I haven't seen that before. I haven't actually played this update before, so that's why I'm liking these new things. Anyway, from the market, down below you got the school. Down below that you got the hospital. Hospital now is it called? I thought it was called Healer's House. Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I've upgraded it to tier 2. 2 wells right below that. A festival pole the other side of the market. 2 wells there, which seems to be getting all of this. I haven't had any problems with water, so that's good. I've moved this. It must be in someone's back pocket because they haven't placed it down yet. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Don't worry about it. Right, there we go. Okay. From there, I've placed the houses. The first set of houses, as you can see, are bang in line with the bottom of the market. So they're bang in line with the bottom of the market, and I've gone 4 along, 4 along. Right next to it, 4 along, 4 along, and you've got the garden trails all the way up this side and all the way up this side in the gap. It's a 2x2, a 2x1, sorry. So you can get each garden trail is the same length as one house, so you can get 4 either side and then 4 on the back side of each one. So you've got garden trail touching each one of the houses, every house, and I've also done the garden trails along the side. Obviously this is going to be a little bit more of a gradual thing. It's not going to be something that you're going to do instantly and have enough resources for. You're going to have to build up to it. I've just done it on the I keep calling it creative mode. It's not called creative mode. What is it called? Custom mode. So I've done it on the custom mode, so obviously I can just upgrade things for free. I don't even need to worry about anything. So like that, just upgrade. Continuing on, we've gone from the garden trail, we've got medium gardens all the way around. You could probably not cut this short and have them on the side still as well, because as you can see my desirability is a bit lower on this side. So I'd probably move it over and then have garden trails along this side too. That's entirely up to you. For me personally, you're going to have 1, 2, 3. You could probably see where all the houses are at 90 desirability. You can probably easily upgrade them to tier 5 housing. I know all of this already is tier 5, but it's going to go down because it's not high enough. It's just short of it. You have to have 100 desirability for tier 5 house. But you'll definitely get tier 4 with every single one of these houses. As you can see, they're easily hitting tier 4. That's with the 2 large statues as well and the garden. You've got a lot of room to add more stuff if you needed to. Your theatre and your temple, these 2 here, from this distance they're still hitting all of these houses. They're still hitting them from this distance, hence why they're over there and not over here, because I think a lot of people make the mistake of putting them too close to the housing or in the middle, and then it messes up all the design. They have such a long range, you don't actually need to mess around with it. So yeah, I think this is a very nice design. It looks very nice. As far as defences goes, I've just plonked 3 either side. That'll be enough to get you through the first, I don't know, 5 to 10 raids at least. Maybe after that you can sort of gauge it how you want. Again, if I was struggling with the defences and they were getting through really easily, I did exactly the same thing I just showed you a minute ago, and I'd build it all the way out to the side. That way they have to go through twice the amount of defences, walls, to get even inside. And obviously, oh yeah, there you go, look, see, desirability isn't 100 on these, so they're going to get knocked down to tier 4. But yeah, so obviously if you're struggling with any aspects where they might be able to get in, obviously I haven't got any defences here because it's a field, but saying that, at the same time they can get in here. Let's say they come this way, they break this and then through here, but then even still they've got all of this to deal with once they get in. So I think defences are adequate. There you go, that's what I meant by this side. So they'd have to get through 1, 2, 3, 4 walls before they got to my gold, whilst getting shot by all of these towers, so that's quite good. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is taking a little while just to sort of plan out, but it's sort of more of a starter guide slash a perfect start sort of thing. Obviously it's got to be tailored to your map and how you want to play and your preferences and everything else, but for me this is a very, very, very good start to the game and a pretty much perfect city layout. Now that the 9.6 update is here and you can do your custom mode, I'm probably going to do quite a lot more of these type of videos, because you don't need to spend hours and hours and hours actually building up all your infrastructure and your food and your housing, your population, to then start doing design. You can literally just do a design straight away. See this little icon up here? I can literally have however many people I want compared to housing. Hence why I upgraded all the housing to tier 5 straight away, just so I could get all the population. Because you can have as many people as spawn additional villagers at the town centre, capped by your settlement's housing capacity. So obviously the more houses you got, the more villagers you can get. So I know some of the houses are deteriorating now, but that's only because I upgraded them so I could get the population. So obviously all the houses that are deteriorating, they're going to stay tier 4 in your city, and these houses here which aren't can be upgraded to tier 5, unless you put some more decorations down, and then you can have all of them to tier 5, but that's entirely up to you. Anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and as always I'll catch you all in the next one.